Our inaugural event, our first launch for AIM, the Alabama Institute of Medicine. We're so excited and honored to have you all here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So to start off, I'd like to introduce the co-founder, one of the greatest people I've ever met in my life, someone who has the biggest heart ever and cares about stem cell research so much. It's amazing. And she puts herself out there every day and inspires me. The great Tory.
Thank you, Roman. It's a pleasure to be here, and for all of you who have made the trip. What we're doing is not only for us in this room, but for millions of others out there, our loved ones, our family members. So I know it has touched me to know TJ, and he's really the inspiration behind my efforts. So I can't sit up here and say this was just an idea that came to my mind or to Roman's mind without giving credit to TJ. So just thank you all, and I hope you can take away something today and give you an idea of where we're going with AIM. Full speed ahead.
That's right. That's exactly right. We are. So I'd like to kind of talk to you right now about the general landscape of stem cell research. We've had amazing success. The Roman Law, my own California law, and we funded Hans Kierstead. Not much money. We gave him $42,000 and $50,000, $92,000. In the grand scheme of things, not much money. He took that and made hardcore empirical evidence that stem cells work. That you can actually rewrap the spinal cord. It's an oligodendrocytes, the myelin sheath. He made that. And he started America's first human clinical trials with the American stem cell research. It's amazing. It's amazing. And the greatest thing is now Hans Kierstead believes so much in AIM that Hans Kierstead is now going to be our scientific director. So we're really honored about that. And it's about having the right team, the right players in place. And then when we get everyone together, we're going to buy AIM. So I'd kind of like to tell you all if I could about stem cell research right now. Where we're at today here as America and as a country, as a state. Internationally, we actually have lost our lead in embryo stem cell research. Right now there's five human clinical trials going on in Asia. Right now. There's only 3 going on in America. We started the first one. With actually my own money, we started it. Now we're in second place. That's not acceptable in America as an innovative leader. All right, that's not acceptable. America was the first to have a man walk on the moon. We should be able to have our parallels walk on Earth. It's too important. That's why we're here. Cures come from research. Research comes from funding. AIM is funding. AIM will give you research and give us cures. It's too important. All right, so that's the international level right now. We started the first one. We're second place. We're not second place people. We don't accept second place. We're going to be first. We're going to win. So nationally, where are we at right now? Well, nationally, it's kind of an interesting phenomenon. You have a lot of blue states who are doing a lot of great work, and you have a lot of red states who are not embracing stem cell research. That is where AIM comes in. That's where a hero like Tory brought this forward, and TJ brought this forward. Because you can't have just blue states leading the way, or just red states. You've got the United States of America leading the way. Red, blue, it doesn't matter. We all are compassionate, have hearts, and care about our suffering and having cures. It's too important. All right, so that's why it is so important we have a red state taking the lead. It is amazing to have a red state like Alabama come to the forefront of stem cell research. So,
yeah, and it's been widely, receptive. We've had no opposition whatsoever, and I think in part of that is because of the people who are involved with this. We are just average Americans, Alabamians here, and people of faith. And there's huge misconceptions about this type of research with stem cell research. So in a large component of AIM, we plan to use some of the investments that come in to go out and to educate our state. I will, organize and manage that portion of it. I have an education background, so I think that will be very important to get out and talk to people and explain what we're trying to do. We are people of faith. I'm a mother of children that I love dearly, pro-life. Certainly this research does not involve, certain things that you do hear about on the news. This is very much regulated from our federal government, so we will follow and abide by all of our ethic advisory boards and federal boards. So it's going to be very credited. We will meet all the standards that we need to move this forward. Our goal is to expedite the research. We want to give the money and funding to the people who have the facilities, who have the resources to go ahead and use that funding to find those cures. That's our goal. It sounds so simple, but that is our goal.
And so how does domestically help people of Alabama? It helps them tremendously, because what it does, it puts people, the patients of Alabama, at the forefront be able to have clinical trials. When you do the stem cell research here in Alabama, you need patients to be able to do stem cell research on, to start clinical trials. Like T.J. Atchison was so brave and was the first, America's first, I shall mind you, embryonic stem cell recipient. So you can be able to get the treatments first. It's so important. That's how it helps you domestically. And even great, as good, it creates jobs. With the Roman Reed Law, we've already created 600 full-time jobs. 600. All right, we create jobs. All right, so that's cures, jobs, and tax revenue. We've given away $17 million. We've brought in $92 million back on matching grants. This will create revenue, create jobs, and create cures. This is important. That's our aim. There's so many wonderful things going on that I think we'd be remiss if we didn't have Dr. Raj come up. And if you would, Dr. Raj, come up and tell us about where we're at in stem cells and your work. We'd love to. So please, this is Dr. Raj. Everyone give him a hand, please.
Thank you. My name is Raj Singh, and I'm one of cancer scientists from UAB. And I've been in Birmingham for 26 years, so it's like my home. And the fascination in science which is driven in my mind was how we can do some science which directly translates to the patient. A lot of people do lab research, which I have done for 15 years. But when you go out of the lab, then you see what people need or patients need. And that driven me with some ideas, come up with some good ideas. So one idea was that everybody is testing drugs or taking these cells, which are taken from human body and putting them in dishes. And they can give you some information, but they are not translational too. So what we did, we came up with an idea, take these cells and put them back into a scaffold, which is same as in our body, and create these small tissues. So now we have created all kind of tumors in a dish. They're just like human tumors. We are working with liver, other tissues. So we take the cells and put them into a human scaffold to create a functional tissue. And we got about $8 million from NIH, from NASA, from investors, and that's my company here in Birmingham. Then some ideas came that can you do, if you can do that from cells you are making tissues, can you implant these things in patients who need it, for diabetes, or for other regenerative medicine? So one project I did with a professor here at UAB, she now left, Jean Paducci, probably you know. She was doing spinal cord research. And she was testing all the materials out there, hydrogels, polymers, and she uses the rat model. So I have no idea what she was doing. But one day she showed me a slide. She said, Raj, here is the spinal cord injured. It has a cavity, because that's how she created. And what she does, she takes some CNS-derived stem cells and mixes them in hydrogels and injects them at the site of injury and waits for the rats to recover. She hasn't got any good results. So for 15 years or so. And one day she asked, she said, Raj, can you give me your human gel which you created? And I said, sure, here it is. So I gave her in a tube. She mixed those stem cells from CNS with our gel and injected it. These rats were walking after 18 weeks. And with that 6 or 7 experiments we did, we submitted an NIH grant. And reviewers said, well, Raj, you're not expert in the spinal cord injury area, so find the right team. So that's where we are. But we got very promising results where we can take stem cells and differentiate them into neurons in a very controlled way. And our material can be delivered because it's the same material we have in our body. It's non-immune, growth factor free. And Tim and Joanne, they all know we are working on other ideas in regenerative medicine, creating vascular grafts and other implantable tissues. So that's my fascination, and this is an excellent opportunity and initiative. I'm fully supportive of this thing that you can do as a team and bring the right experts and organizations to it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. So let's talk about what is, yeah, let's give him a hand. Thank you. So let's talk about what exactly AIM is and what it will do. So we're going to be 3 phases. First phase is going to be a general fund, and that's how it works in California, Prop 71 Serum. We're going to put money into a bank account. Scientists are going to come to us, they're going to give us grant proposals, and we have amazing, amazing grant review process. You don't want to have favoritism, nepotism, or any of these type of things leading science. You want science, best science to lead science. So we got one of the best scientists, stem cell scientists in the whole world, Dr. Jane Lepkowski. She was senior VP at Geron. She actually ran America's first human clinical trials. She is beyond qualified. She is going to be the one who's going to be double-blind. We will not know the researcher name, and the grant reviewers will not know the researchers. We will not know anything about it. We will know who you are, what you are, no favoritism. The science shall lead the way. And we did our application process the exact same way as the NIH. It is beyond and above reproach. It is amazing what we're going to do. So that is how we're going to actually grade the science, okay? So that's the general fund. We're going to grade the central science, and we're going to give them money. Second, phase 2 is really going to be exciting. We're going to build a core laboratory. I have my own core laboratory in California, the Roman Reed Core Laboratory. And what we do is, one of the biggest barriers to entry to coming into stem cell science is the actual money that it costs to be able to buy the microscopes, to be able to buy the pipettes, anything it is, all right? But we have that in this amazing laboratory. You come and work on our stuff for free. That's what we're going to do here. We're going to build a core laboratory, and all these amazing scientists who are here, who are ready to be able to do stem cell work, can come for free and be able to work on our core laboratory. That's phase 2. That is really, to me, exciting. Phase 3, when we get to that point, we actually want to administer the cures. We want to be able to be a point of contact and give out the cures, to help out and collaborate with great universities around here. We want to be able to give out the cures. So we're going to do the research for the cures. We're going to do research in the laboratory, and we're going to give out cures. That is what AIM is all about.
And I think, when we launched really on March 7th, Jan Renevo just walked in. He was so kind to write an article in the Birmingham Business Journal really announcing our launch for AIM. It went viral, again, just like when TJ went viral about his participation in Geron's trial. People are eager. They're so hungry for this research to come that we don't really know. It's a small community, and we want to change that. A goal for AIM is to change that and collaborate. We have the best facilities here in Birmingham and in our state. We've seen that. I've seen that firsthand. So that really inspired me to say, we can take this to another level. We can do the same things they've done in California. Alabama has potential to grow with research, with economic development. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do that. It's going to take time, but we are so determined. We're dedicated to this initiative. It is our life. But every family here, every person here can think about their own families. Just this morning I had to go for a follow-up checkup because I do have precancerous cells. I also was diagnosed with polycystic kidney disease 2 years ago. So it's in my family. That means 2 of my 4 children are probably going to have issues with their kidneys in their lifetime. I hope that's not a case. I hope that AIM and SERM and all of these other wonderful programs can really pull together and use the resources we have, not just here in our state, but across the United States, abroad. We can do that, and we're the team that's going to help do that too. With your help, with your support, each and every one of you here. What we hope will happen is that we can go out into these small communities, share our message, answer any questions. That's what we're here for. We're not here to force an issue down and make you believe that you have to be in line with what we're doing. But we want to give you facts and information. The only way you can learn and grow is if you're educated. With my education background, I saw that many times in the classroom. That's a fact. So I think partnering up with Roman, who's just, he's such of an inspiration and a leader. He's going to lead AIM in directions that just onward and upward. That's what we always say when we text. It's always onward and upward. TJ graduates in May from nursing school. He's the president of his nursing association. Am I saying that right, TJ?
Yeah,
Student Nurses Association. So he has the medical background. Not only was he a participant in the first clinical trial, but his terminology, his background now can take him and put him in front of people where he can really talk to them at a level as a medical person, but also as a participant, as a human being living with a disability. When you can connect with people on all of those levels, there's no limit to what TJ will be able to do in his young lifetime. His little sister here today, we hope that generation's not going to have to deal with the issues we've had to as adults. And through that, we want our economy to grow. That's a huge, significant element to AIM. We will see jobs come to Birmingham and to our state as a result of AIM. We want to work together, partner with any group that there's here, any institution, any research-based institution. We're here to support you. That's what our goals are. You have the expertise and the technology and the facilities, and we're just here to bolster that and to move forward at a rapid pace.
And it's going to take time. When the polio vaccine, we had all of America. All of America wanted that. We had mountains of money. It took 17 years from the time they first isolated to the time they actually gave away cures. It's going to take time. It's going to take sustainability. But we're in it for the long run. And all of us together can accomplish this. I know it. I feel it. We saw it in California. We're going to do it in here. It's going to be amazing. We have so many people in California so excited about this. It's beyond belief. We have an investor in Qatar. We have an investor in Saudi Arabia. It's unbelievable the reach that this is accomplishing. Because it's not only about blue states and red states. It's about the United States of America leading the way. The stem cell research cures. That's what we're here for today. That's what we support. That's our aim.
Yeah, and I guess another highlight that we want to talk about today is, special events. We've already planned some really special events into the fall. We've talked with different venues here. That's part of our goal, is to finalize those plans while Roman's in town this week, and we're meeting with investors. But we do have a very important, fun event. It's called STEM Jam. And we've gotten some great record labels to already jump on board and help recruit artists to come in. You watch the television every day and you see commercials or announcements where there are lots of celebrities and artists who are supportive of research, and they want to come and help, use their talents to help bring funding for research. So they're jumping on board, some great artists and bands. And
just like the need is coast to coast, it's going to be coast to coast STEM Jam. We're going to have a simulcast from California, Alabama, and New York all together. We're going to have a concert together, and all that money is going to go to raise stem cell research funds. It's too important. It's going to be like we had Farm Aid back in the day, and We Are the World. Well, we are the world needing the cures right now, so this is what we're going to do. Who will be touched by this? Every single person in the world, in my belief. 1 out of 2 people in all the world will have cancer, will actually have oncology cancer. We're going to help fight oncology cancer. I lost my best friend when I was 8 years old, Jacob, to cancer. My son's named Jacob. I won't lose my second best friend to cancer. It won't happen. We have to be able to fight these cures, and stem cells is the answer. Everything in our body was once a stem cell. When you harness the pure power and technology of stem cells, you'll have cures forever.
I think that we've given you guys a lot of information to take home with today. I know you might have questions too that you might want to ask, or there's no wrong or right. Just shoot it out. We're here to inform and educate, and this is kind of I don't know, I guess you're our guinea pigs. Because we don't know, we've not done this yet, but it is our clinical trial. So we do. We just appreciate y'all. And if you've got any questions or comments that you'd like to make, please feel free to do that. It's an open floor. So.
Yes, Dan.
Yeah, Dan Kessler with Disability Rights and Resources. I want to welcome you all here, welcome you back here, Roman, again. But I think, certainly, even if I would think that the support among elected officials should be strong, given that even though they may not care about people with spinal cord injuries or people with other disabilities, when you start talking about jobs and economic development, I think you'll get their attention. And that's something that certainly I think every state is focusing on that. So I think that certainly is a really good approach that you're taking. Certainly that your work that you're doing is certainly very important work, but I think that all the other kinds of development that can occur within a community, within a state, can really go a long way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, Graham.
How much contact have you had with the Alabama governor's office?
We haven't. We've been limited to none. So we
I
love
would
your
like, if I could help you with that, be your liaison. I certainly.
We'd be honored.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Graham.
See, it's when you come together, these great things like Graham steps up. Everyone steps up when you come together.
And I admit I have a ulterior motive, but
You brought your chair too, I see.
yeah, exactly. I've got lifetime membership in the club, so.
That's right. Well, we don't want to have lifetime no more. No
That's
more.
right,
That's
exactly.
right.
I put my 31 years in. I'd like to see it.
You're going to have
fewer
your
years.
lifetime to be revoked. It's going to be temporary membership.
Right.
That's what I want to see.
That's
what I
excellent.
wanna
Well, I really appreciate what you're doing. I really do. And I think it's excellent. I think all the points you made are valid. And like Dan said, pushing economic development, people can't, that takes out of the realm of controversy. And I don't think it's controversial. Personally, I can't speak for the governor at this point. but I can tell you from a personal standpoint, all the stuff, all of us that can benefit from a cure, we have no doubt about it. We just need to draw in the rest of folks to make them understand.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Well, let's talk about where embryonic stem cells come from. I think that's important. When I first started this, 16 years ago, I was called a baby killer. A nun spit on me. It was unbelievable. That's in California.
Really?
Right? Yeah, that's California. And then, but you know what's through a massive amount of awareness, it has changed really completely. In 2010, the Gallup poll came out that says 58% of born-again Christians completely support embryonic stem cell research. 69% of Catholics completely support embryonic stem cell research. So the tide has changed because of all the work we've done. Because once you know where stem cells come from, there's not controversy. And let's talk about that. So when a man and woman go to a fertility clinic, they take usually 10 eggs and they fertilize them. Hopefully, and most of the time, they're successful in the first 5 tries. What do you do with the other 5? Well, by law, they put them for 2 months into a cryogenic refrigerator. They freeze them. They put them in an orange bag. And 2 months and 1 day, they throw them in the garbage. Why can't we use discarded waste? Crack it open, take the stem cells out of the blastocyst, and find cures. Find cures for people we love, for ourselves, for America to lead the way. When you know the facts, the controversy just goes away. Because we all are good people, and I believe, and we all want to see our fellow brothers and sisters cured. We all want to see health. We don't want to see people suffering. Stem cells can give us the cures to end this suffering.
What are the state laws around that in Alabama?
So right now, we've had a lot of luck. In last year, the Supreme Court came out and said, we are 100% in support of embryonic stem cell research, funding for the NIH, government, everything. So we have had a great effect all through that. Because it's not a controversy anymore. When the actual federal government, when the actual Supreme Court higher said there's not controversy. They came out in our favor. And that, let's not lie, is a right-bent Republican Supreme Court. And it had been to this point where Republicans weren't really on board. Now they're coming over. This is something that we all can benefit. It's not Democrat or Republican. This is about helping your friend, yourself, your brother, your sister, your mother, your best friend. We all can grasp that. That's an idea and a concept that we must take and push forward. That's our aim.
What's interesting is when we're talking with people, friends and family even, what are you working on? What are y'all doing? And it's amazing to see the light bulb go off on their faces when you say, if you are in support of fertility clinics, which I visited often, I have twins as a result of a fertility clinic. When you take the idea that after 10 to 12 years of a couple who has either decided they no longer want to pursue in vitro fertilization, it is a costly process. Every month they're paying a fee to have those embryos frozen. So this is thousands of dollars already on a couple who is going through the emotional saga of trying to have a child. So when you take the idea that after 10 to 12 years, those embryos are no longer viable. They can't even be donated to a couple who wants to, use that embryo. So it's the outer layer of that embryo that it cannot really attach to the womb of a woman. And even if it were to, you cross the line of there's going to be some, developmental issues. It could be a disability. Lots of issues can come up because it is a damaged or not very viable embryo. So, the couples then just decide, well, we're just not going to freeze it anymore. So then it is literally put into an orange medical waste bag and thrown away. And we've learned so much, researchers have, that you can still take that same embryo. The outer layer is no longer good, but those inner cells, that's the magic. That's what really can go in and change the life of someone who's in a chair, who's, not going to see their children grow up. You can use it, manipulate it, and make it become any tissue or organ in the body. And it is a process. We hope that, we'll be able to break that barrier and make this more of a, widespread type of therapy.
And Tory touched upon a very important point. Without a woman, without a womb, there can never be a child. There can never be a child. These are cells, they're going to be discarded anyway. They don't have a womb, a mother, they're cells are discarded. Let's use these to be able to cure the disease that are plaguing mankind. I don't think there's anything more pro-life than you can do to try to find a cure for someone suffering.
Yeah. And there's something else that a lot of confusion occurs. So you don't need embryonic stem cells, you can use adult stem cells. Yeah. So tell me, from a scientific standpoint,
Sure.
Aren't embryonic stem cells more useful than adult stem cells? Or
They are.
More malleable?
They are 100%. Because this is the great thing about embryonic stem cells. They're called pluripotent. All right, they can be anything. When adult stem cells, they already are one thing. So when you're trying to change them to different things, they don't want to. They have a tendency, the Newton's law, an object in motion tends to stay in motion, object at rest tends to stay at rest. Well, when adult stem cells, they don't want to change. They want to stay that way, right? And then if you look at, so right now we have iPS cells. You take an adult cell, induced pluripotence, and then you try to turn it back to embryonic life stage, right? They just won, actually, one of my great friends, Dr. Shinya Yamanaka, won a Nobel Prize for it. So I called him about the second day, congratulated him on all this, and I said, well, is iPS now, why do we need an embryonic stem cell research, iPS? He says, well, it's the most obvious reason. You're getting the adult stem cells back to embryonic-like stage, right? Well, then what do you do next? You're at embryonic-like stage, you have to have embryonic stem cell research to be able to know where to go next. You turn iPS cells, adult cells, into embryonic stem cells, then what do you do when they're embryonic-like? You have to be able to have the embryonic stem cell research. He also said that they're the gold standard. His quote, he said, you can use it anytime, embryonic stem cell research is a gold standard, period. And this is from the guy who just won the Nobel Peace Prize. All right, Dr. Shinya Yamanaka. Yeah.
In regard to AIM, though, we are open to the most
Yes.
efficacious way. So if it is embryonic stem cells, or if it is iPS cells, or adult cells, whatever, some researcher out there may have this wonderful novel idea. We're not just funding embryonic stem cell research. It will go across the board for any type stem cell research. And also like sports medicine. I mean, you think about, I'm just like a walk in every part, I feel like. I was a volleyball player, so I only have 20% cartilage in my right knee. I have 4 children. I'm chasing them all the time. It catches. It's aggravating. It's frustrating for me to get in and out of the car sometimes to carry groceries. And so these type things that may not seem like a really big deal affect me daily. And as I age, it's going to become even worse. I probably will have to have a knee replacement. So we also, it's not the spectrum of what the disability is. It can be looked upon in different ways. But we think that any researcher that sends in a grant and requests for funding from us, Hans Kierstead will review it, and he will grade it meritoriously on the best scale, 1 to 10. I'm assuming he's got his own scale and his own agenda for that. But certainly we want to go with the best ideas where it will make an impact on daily life.
Well, and she says something that's fantastic, and the whole gamut, the spectrum. I mean, some things are very small. I mean, we're having success now with baldness. I mean, I don't think that's really a life-threatening situation. Some people might differ. Carrie, what do you think about that? I don't know, but there you go. See, we don't know yet. But you know what? All the way to the most important. To me, I would give my personal cure any day of the week and twice on Sunday to a child with SMA. SMA. And baby Charlotte, I know Gwendolyn. SMA is the most cruel disease in the whole world in my mind. What it is your child is 99% perfect. That 1% is going to kill your child before the age of 5. It's the #1 baby killer, infant killer in America, SMA, spinal muscular atrophy. And what happens is, so when you make muscle, you have to have amino acids all working together in a chain, right? If you have 100 units of amino acid A, 100 units of amino acid B, and 1 of C, you only have 1 because they work in a chain. Well, these beautiful little children, they can't go out of their body sector and grab that one lousy amino acid in the bloodstream and put it into the chain. They can never make muscles. If you don't have muscles, you can't chew, talk, swallow, walk, anything. Gwendolyn Strong, she's laid in bed for 4.5 years. Her parents are awesome. They make her have the most greatest quality of life ever, but she's never been able once to swallow a piece of food. She's never been once to say, I love you, tangibly to her mother. She's never been able once to be able to breathe on her own. She lives on a PAP mask. This child is 4 years old. That is unacceptable. It's hard enough for me, and when I'm wheelchair paralyzed, and I have a lot of great things, and it's hard. But a child of 4 years old, that's unacceptable. We have to find cures. That's where AIM comes in. We are going to fund and support the people, the great scientists who are doing the research who are going to cure SMA, paralysis, oncology. We're not ourselves smart enough to do the science, but we're strong enough to be able to raise the money to give the science to find a cure. That's our hope. That's our aim. Any questions, comments?
So how do you see AIM interacting with local resources like UAB and other Alabama research institutes?
Completely in support. All we want to do, we want to be a bank account where all you great scientists say, you know what, we got a great idea, give us some money. There you go do it. That's all we want to do.
It is
It's
that
going to get you
simple.
money, you can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Our goal is to have $10 million in this year. We hope to exceed that, but we want to set a goal, and that's a goal that we're moving towards very quickly. We have meetings scheduled this week with investors who You know, we hope we can triple and quadruple that amount, but we are determined to get $100 million. $10 million. Out of that $10 million, we have set in our bylaws too that 80% of that money will go directly to research. So the 20% that remains will be for our education program, for a facility, or seed money for that, and then also for our staff, and to pay, you know, for any other additional resources to be launched. But the 80% though, that's going all into research, every penny of it. We're recruiting board members. We've gotten some just business and you know, researchers already in the medical field who are jumping on board and want to be on this board and serve, who have the greatest intentions and want to see nothing. It's all volunteer basis. Want to see nothing but this to move forward and for them to give us their wisdom and knowledge and guidance so that we can make the best decisions for this institute.
That's exactly right. I work at Stanford now. After I passed the Romans Law, Stanford's so excited what I did, they had me come over and I started their Spinal Cord program. And now, talking about AIM, I've had to turn down people wanting to come on our board. I got 12 scientists say, we'd love to be on the board. Are you kidding me? Sign me up. It's we're not pushing people away, but we're having to limit it. Everyone's so excited about it. I mean, who wouldn't be excited about being able to cure cancer or Parkinson's or ALS or Alzheimer's? This is all we're trying to do. We're trying to give money to the scientists who are the first responders and let them enable them to do their research. I'll never be smart enough to be a scientist, but I'm doggone determined and stubborn enough to be able to get them some money. And that's what we do. That's our aim. We're going to find cures because we're going to support cures. Any questions, comments?
I'm all for a cure.
Thank you. Hey, you know what? I think on that one, I think we should end it on that one. All for a cure. All for a cure. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. I really appreciate it. Thank you.